Hi folks, this week's movie pick has long been one of my favorites ever since it came out back in 1995, courtesy of Universal City Studios, Major Payne. This one is right about an hour and 40 minutes long, rated PG-13. Damon Wayans stars in this hilarious escapade that commands laughs aplenty when peace breaks out in America. Killing machine Major Benson Winifred Payne, United States Marine Corps Special Forces, is given his marching orders to the unemployment line. Unable to cope with civilian life, Payne is thrust back into the military regimen as commander of the Madison Academy Junior ROTC. How does the military's most dangerous secret weapon discipline a few good men when none of them is even old enough to shave any way he wants? At least until Dr. Emily Walburn, school counselor, joins his tour of duty. Armed with the comic genius of Damon Wayans and stockpiled with humor, Major Payne orders up the laughs. This movie is definitely a hugely satirized version of the military. It opens up with sort of a battle scene, and uh, the Major Payne character is moving through an area and kind of randomly firing shots. You don't see anyone shot up close. He comes upon a friendly soldier, and I think he's saying he's been hit in the arm. And you see a little bit of blood. Major Payne leans over and says something like, "Hey, you want me to show you a trick to take your mind off that pain?" He grabs the guy's hand and snaps one of his fingers. You do see a crooked finger, and there's a crunching, cracking, snapping sound. The most intense violence in this movie is descriptions of Major Payne battlefield experiences. In one particular sequence, he is telling a story to one of his ROTC cadets. He enters a flashback and starts reliving the story that he's telling that involves, him fighting his way through waves of enemies with nothing but a pistol. It gets pretty over the top, to say the least. There are a few sort of jump scares throughout the movie, whether it's the Major Payne character sort of acting out something and pulling out a big knife, or make sort of holding his hand in the shape of a gun and making bang bang noises, or he does actually draw his gun and fire a few times. He basically uses it. He shoots his pistol in the air a few times to get the cadets' attention at one point, and he gets tired of one of the younger cadets saying he can't sleep and claiming there's a monster in his closet. So he goes into the kid's bedroom and shoots the closet door. This is not meant to be taken seriously as any kind of representation of war or the veteran experience. It is very over the top and very silly. The language gets just a little rough at times. There is some innuendo. Very predictably, Major Payne ends up falling for the school counselor character. They go out to a dance club. There's a scene where the camera basically zooms in on her backside, and then it comes back to Major Payne, and he's dancing faster and all excited. That's about as intense as it gets with that. There is a fight scene between some of the cadets, uh, and afterwards one of them is shown with a black eye, maybe a bloody lip, nothing too intense. Just like everything else in the movie, Major Payne's personality and his antics are just magnified and way over the top. Things that hopefully any actual ROTC leader would be fired for, and it's done very obviously for laughs in the movie. With all of his intensity and negative reinforcement, the school counselor points out that the boys are all going to hate him. And he basically says, "Oh, good, it'll pull them together and make them act as a better team. It'll make them a stronger unit." As always, I will have a link in the description down below for folks to decide whether they think this is right for them and their families. If you are on island and you'd like to join me, I'll be hitting play on this one about 7:15 on Saturday night. And if you can give a heads up that you plan to join, I always appreciate having a rough head count. If you're going to come on by, then I encourage bringing a blankie and a pillow, your favorite movie snacks and beverages to enjoy this very over-the-top military satire.